All righty, guys. It looks like we are 100% all the way live on this. What's today's date? The 13th? Is today the
Yes,
Yes,
13th?
sir.
Okay, the
13.
yeah.
13th of April, 2 days before tax day. I see that we have some people here already. I can't see who's in here, but welcome for those of you who are here. This is the Coach's Couch, where we talk about everything that has to do with how to live this life the best way we can. And, try to have a few happy days along the way. But
Yeah.
tonight, this is actually a part two. Thank you for everybody who's already come in. This is actually a part two. So at the beginning, I just want to acknowledge who we have on the panel here. We have, forgive me, James, you my man at 50 grand, but I've got to introduce, my ride or die over there, Foist.
Yeah, I
You
understand.
got to go Foist, okay?
Yeah. Understand, man. Understand.
So I'm just going to have you guys introduce yourselves. We're going to go with Bree. Baby, you want to just say a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad you're with us. I am Breena Lewis, co-host of the podcast, author, and certified life coach. I have a new book out. I've got to give a plug to that. Lessons from Mama. It's in pre-launch, and it's a book born out of my journey of heartbreak, love, marriage, and finding myself again. So you can get that. I think Mary just dropped it in. Thank you. Thank you. The QR code is there so you can purchase. I would be forever grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations. This is not Bree's first book. This is her second book. I don't know if we have the first one. If we do, Mary can put it on the screen. Daddy's Girl was the first one. This one, guys, when I say that this book is good, Gooit, good, it is good, goodly, greatly good, all of that stuff. So you guys, the QR code is there. Please, when I say do Bree a favor, because I know she would appreciate it, but this one would be doing yourself a favor. Get your copy of that book. I actually read an excerpt, even though I promised Bree I wouldn't, but I read an excerpt to it from the book to a man, and he said, yeah, this resonates with me. I know it's intended to help women feel uplifted and everything else, but as I said to her, it's a universal book, and I'm encouraging everybody to get the book. And for those of you who are still have not yet pre-ordered your copies, for those of you who I treat, I know where the bodies are, okay? I know where the bodies are. So please don't pull me back into that realm, okay? Every time I take them out, they pull me back in.
Okay, Godfather.
I know where the bodies is, okay? Look, that's not a threat. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. That's it. Oh, man.
All right, let's have James introduce himself.
Thank you for having me back again. I'm James Long. The name of my company is Balancing Grace Therapeutic Services. I'm just grateful to be back again. This is one of my goals to actually learn how to do a podcast myself one day. So this is a great lesson, teachable moments, and just get a feed of what's my fears, what I'm comfortable with, I'm not comfortable with. So this, my goal is to write a book one day, but the podcast is what I've been talking about. So here I am, and I've been talking about it for a while. So I'm working towards that goal. So thank you again for having me. I look forward to many more to come.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. And James, are you comfortable with talking a little bit about the struggle you're dealing with now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. From the first one, when I told him I was diagnosed with cancer, I take medication now. So a lot of it is I'm tired a lot. I just want to sleep, and I can usually manage throughout the day on it. But I had a breakdown yesterday. My wife and I was at a show, and we had to walk like 6 minutes away to the concert. I was okay getting there, but coming back, I was struggling. And I got so frustrated. And why I got frustrated because, and I wrote, I texted this morning that when I was ready to give up. Like I was just so tired. I was ready to stop. Excuse me because of the my voice, but I was
Okay.
ready to stop. But I told her that I was more afraid how she looked at me if I would have stopped. That part of me being afraid of someone seeing me as a weak got to me. And and why I told her that morning, if she would have reacted different to me last night, I would have never said anything. Because she helped me out so much and kept me calm that it helped me, able to express how I felt, that being vulnerable in that state where I'm ready to give up and I'm tired in front of a woman, and it's my wife, it was hard. Like she's my wife, but yet
Wow.
I would rather have fall or fainted before I would just stop. Now, if I
Wow.
was by myself, I would have just stopped.
Yeah.
But in front of, because weakness, again, that moment in my life, that moment was like, man, I don't know how she really looking at me. Because she
Yeah.
was patient, but I was worried more about how she looking at me as a man.
Yeah.
It bothered me, but I was so thankful that she didn't. She said, "Baby, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. Take your time." And I kind of like, I can't because I'm hurting and I want to stop, but I'm like, I can't because I'm supposed to be a man. I'm like, that was the hardest moment in front of her I ever had, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to tell her like, hey, I was really afraid for you to see me like that. But for her, how she took care of me at that moment, I appreciate it, because that could have been a big argument, because I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
snapping, but just because I'm hurt, I'm like, I'm sore, my muscles are weak, and I know there's a reason why, but even the reason sometimes, like, it's still like I still look weak, and
Yeah.
that was so eye opening for me because I can play things off, I just couldn't play it off last night, and
Wow.
you know what I mean, I
And this
just
was
couldn't play
last
it off.
night.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And that's
Um,
so appropriate that and I'm sorry for what happened, but for the whole purpose of the podcast tonight, what we really want our women, our ladies to know about us. I'm a board certified psychotherapist. James is a board certified psychotherapist. We're both in our 50s. We've been here for a minute and a half, but there are still things that at the end of the day, we are still men, and we live by certain codes. And I have so many people,
right,
women especially, say, Alfonso, what is this code? Well, I can tell you as it comes up, but it's not codified in a way that you can just open the book and it'll give you
right,
the answer on how to respond in that moment. But
right.
just a man feeling physically weak at that time, you saying you would have rather fallen in front of the Pope or the president or anybody else other than your wife.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it was serious, man. And again, I have to, like I say, if she would have got fussy with me, I wouldn't even told her how I really felt, because that was so pinnacle for me that she was calm, and I'm using the calm one when, like, it was in reverse. I'm using one calming her down, and
Yeah,
to be on the opposite side, it was weird too, because I'm like, yo, she's really calm, like she ain't snapping on me. She said,
yeah,
"Babe, it's okay," and I kind of looked at her like, wow, like that helped me. Again, to be the beast, and she's the one calming me down. I kind of started like, I calmed down, like I really calmed down.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. And,
I
and
couldn't
see,
say nothing last night because I was still emotional, but
yeah,
I had to
yeah.
give her credit for not, looking at me in a different way.
Well,
Wow.
first of all, we're glad that you're okay, and we
Yeah,
are praying for your healing from this. There are not a lot of things that can make a man not feel like a man. And when I say man, I'm talking about operating in our masculinity.
all right.
And once again, that's why we're talking about this tonight. And you all, I really want to see your comments. I can't really see them here, but the other two people can see them. So please post your comments, because tonight we want to give you an opportunity to ask questions. We have Bree here who's holding it down for the ladies, and maybe she's going to hear something tonight that maybe she just heard from me or maybe hasn't heard before at all. But I'm going to start it off. Bree, I'm sorry. Did you want to say anything first?
I did want to ask you, James, in that particular situation, it was really difficult for you to be vulnerable with your wife. Is that usually the case, or was it just that particular moment when you were feeling, when you were sick and just feeling worse?
In the past, I could play it off.
Okay.
I just couldn't play it off. So I couldn't run. I couldn't, like, usually I tell my wife, she said, "You okay?" I like, no complaints. Because I don't like running her. But yesterday, I just couldn't play it off. And I got so frustrated because we were trying to find where we was parked at. And that didn't make no things better. And I'm like, man, this is some bull crap, man. We can't find a car. And we look like tourists in Baltimore. I'm like, we're going to get robbed. So I'm already nervous. I'm like, man, we look crazy out here. So I was like, I look crazy walking because I was like this. Oh, Lord. And like, come on, baby. Like, I'm just like, she's not even my wife. Like, come on, baby, you can do it. Come on. I'm like, this is embarrassing. Like, but so I was just frustrated. It didn't look good last night.
I love it though. She held you down though in that moment.
I give her all credit for that
down.
One. Yeah,
see, he said it didn't look good. And I am not justifying anything that we're going to be talking about tonight, but optics mean a lot to us. Now, Bree can speak for the women, but it means a lot to us. And I was talking to someone the other day, a colleague, and she was saying how her guy, he has maybe there's some ED going on, and they had a good time with the help of medication. They had a good time, but then the next time it wasn't working the way it should. And she said, "Alphonso, I told his ASS, just take the damn medication." And I said, well, now she's in the healthcare field too. And I said, you said what? She said, I don't understand. Why didn't he just take the medication and just get it over with? It's not that big a deal. And I said, whoa, first of all, you got to understand, there are very few things, I'm going to say 2 or 3 things that define a man's masculinity. That's his need for respect and his sexual prowess. And I said something to her, James, and she said, you've got to be kidding me. I said, if you present these options to a man, would you rather be poor, homeless, or have erectile dysfunction? And I said, that dude would say, I'd rather live on the street and eat in a soup kitchen as long as my wood is working.
You are kidding.
I kid you not. And James, I'm telling you, we didn't go back and forth in an argument. She could not believe that for a man, his sexual prowess meant that much. And I said, yeah, because here's what happens. When somebody said, absolutely.
Okay. Said absolutely.
Yeah. What happens is when that man has to take that pill, to you, it's about getting his penis hard. To a woman, right. For the man, is visual representation that what makes me feel masculine is not there anymore. I need help getting it up and keeping it up. And I said, you have to understand the way men move, James, and please tell me if you've never been there. I have been in circles with my boys where we have lied our ASS's off, saying how we just put it down with the girl and I made her forget her middle name and everything else. We are lying from here to the third heaven, okay? But that's what defines us. So one of the things that defines us, and she said, Alphonso, you mean to tell me that if I had to give you the option of being poor or homeless or able to perform sexually, well, you can stop right there. The question is already answered. I would rather have a erection that I can't use because I ain't got no partner than to be sitting up in Beverly Hills with a whole lot of money and thinking what makes me a man is not there. And when I talked to, actually, I talked to your cousin about it. And he said, yeah, bro, I mean, we all understand this. And I said, yeah, bro, but women don't get it. And this is Bree, I definitely want you to chime in. I don't understand when you've been around for this long, how you still, I look, somebody said, preacher, I don't understand how women still don't get that if a man can't perform sexually, if he pulls up to a gated community in a Bentley and he has a woman, he's feeling like a fraud, like he's not a real man.
Right.
So that is so, oh my goodness, so important to us. It is the number one thing that defines our masculinity.
Okay, so that's the number one thing.
But women make it
Go ahead,
in the
babe.
sense that
I didn't hear you.
they're gonna tell you if you're good or they're gonna tell you if you're bad. Now, what side you want to be on? Like, you know, so if you're, and I mean, and I used to joke around. I said, you never seen a man get beat up or jump for bad sex.
That's true.
So ain't nobody never keyed my car because I was just raggedy in bed. And so you thinking like, okay, maybe we shouldn't just look at sex, but the identity of it, the word gets out in college, if you if you can perform well, girls want to find out.
Yeah.
So it started early. So, and I used to tell, my friends, I was like, I didn't have conversations. So the only thing I really understood was if a woman had sex with me, she liked me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we didn't have like this kind of conversations we didn't. And I was so naive though back then. If a female fell asleep, I would get mad. I ain't think she liked me because and I always say as a man, learning how to be a man, I'm thinking you supposed to do like the stories. You in the bed and they pillow talking and having this good conversation afterwards. I tried all that and they would go to sleep. I'm like, man, she don't even like me.
Oh, you mean afterwards? Look, afterwards, not during, James.
I was so naive in that. So when I tell people, I said, if you want to learn about, I didn't know somebody said being a man. Well, no one taught me how to be a man. They didn't tell me about sex, how to treat a woman. I just learned by watching TV.
Yeah.
Then trial and error comes.
Yeah.
So, so the idea of why sex is so important, it started out like that.
Yes. Foundationally.
Don't men also learn from other men? You know, all the guys on the block with you, your friends, you all talk amongst each other when you're younger?
Absolutely. I had a cousin.
Uncles?
Yeah, play cousin. He wasn't by blood, but as a kid, he was in the Marines. Right. And he would come home and he would talk about all the things he did with women. Now, I'm not even a teenager at this point. So I'm thinking, okay, well, when I get older, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. That was the only reference of what a man was supposed to know and who to be.
Yeah.
So when you get it that young, when we talk about programming, it's hard to break programming that's been there since before you even knew how to spell your name.
Right. Right.
I was in houses where there were prostitutes and I could hear them having sex before I was a teenager. Mm. So when I hear them having sex and I hear the woman moaning and groaning, I'm thinking, oh, well, okay, he's doing what a man is supposed to do. Nobody told me a prostitute is supposed to do that because she's getting paid for it. What did I know? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But it starts off early on.
James is cracking up.
I'm
he was paid to do that, Al.
It's just the innocence of it, we think about, and then, the innocence of when he talks sometimes is just like, man, we just didn't know. So then we're supposed to know how to be a man and know how to treat a woman. That is so hard. Like when you don't have no platforms other than what you hear. Like he heard them, so now he comes to an idea of this is what you're supposed to do. I'm just listening to the fellas, and we're not really exchanging how. All we saying, hey yo, I'm trying to get that, and we're not saying either we punished her, I mean, we're not talking about making love. So I don't even know what that even means until I'm in my 20s. Like making
Yeah.
love, like cuddling and all that. Like cuddle. Like I was horrible and I keep saying I'm a good dude, but I was horrible. I didn't cuddle. I'm like, you can't get in the bed with me.
You didn't cuddle, man. You gotta cuddle.
Yeah, you said that now, but I didn't know. I didn't know what that meant.
Back then,
like,
yeah,
ain't nobody tell
then,
me what that meant though.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing where I credit women. You all will sit with your daughters and teach them about life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A man will sit down with his son and teach him how not to let a woman PUSSY you, whip you, or do whatever else. And not having that male figure in the house, you get a street education.
Yeah.
And when I would say things, and first of all, let me say, I'm having a little technical issue here. So my speaker is going in and out. So if I do this, please, you guys take it because I'm trying to get it reestablished. But not having learned that, I learned the hard way that what makes us feel masculine is the thing, Bree, that you all don't understand how foundational it is to everything that we hold as true. So when she told her man, just take the pill, I said, but you know what, ma'am? That made it even worse. It's one thing that he knows he needs it, but you're giving him permission or saying, take the pill. That doesn't work. That's only reinforcing that in some ways I'm a failure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what should she have said? What was it? Was it her tone, or was it the fact that she said, just take the pill? Because she is trying to make it okay and let you know, hey, it's okay, babe. Just go ahead and take the pill, and everything will be okay. She's trying to fix it. That's what we're thinking as a woman.
Hold on. That's the pity face. A man doesn't want the pity face in that regard. See, James, falling is one thing.
Yeah.
But for you to say, oh, baby, it's okay. I know you failed. I know you couldn't do what you need to do, but it's okay. You'll be all right. Nah, hold on. That ain't what we want, even though it's what we need.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you want in this instance? Tell us, ladies, what would be the ideal way to handle a situation like that? That would make you feel respected. What can we do?
I know James can answer on his own. Now, me back in the day, I could give a rat's ass about it now. But back in the day, what I needed you to do is not say anything, because saying something calls attention to it. And that's making me feel even worse. So it's not so much in how she said it, it's the fact that it was said in the first place. Because see, a guy, we wouldn't talk to each other that way. We was like, oh man, I was with my shorty and so happened. Oh man, yeah, that happened to me before. All right, man, chill. Yeah, pass that beer. See, that's our conversation.
Yeah.
That's our conversation.
Yeah. And for me, it's just, as long as they just talk to me. I've never had an issue. If I can, I can't. But because I was uncomfortable, because I've been around people who did make me feel comfortable. The trigger when I couldn't, my Teresa was just the outcome of what I'm thinking she might say, not because she was going to do it. It happened before. Like, dang, what's wrong with you now? Like, it's almost saying in that moment, if someone's used to being a certain way, they can't understand that you might have moments in life. So
yeah,
if anybody tell me that something was wrong, it's just how you talk to me. So if I had, I couldn't do something sexually, all you do is just tell me it's okay.
Yeah. I think most women, if she cares about you, she's going to say, hey, babe, it's okay. You know what I mean? But Al, you were saying just don't acknowledge it at all.
I'm saying that what happens is when something like that happens to a man in that way, we have to go through all these layers of processes, and we don't even know how we feel in that moment. And what we do know is that men do not like pity. because that goes against our need, to feel strong. The pity look from a woman to a man is emasculating, because in that moment, we're supposed to be able to step up and handle our business.
Okay, so what defines the line between being understanding and sounding like we are showing pity? Because we're trying to be understanding, meet you where you are, not, we don't want you to feel bad about it because we understand stuff happens.
Yeah.
Past relationships. It's not because it's like for you, when last time you was talking and how you listened to, what Alphonso was saying, you didn't give him any negative feedback. If something new's happened, like in my relationships, they didn't trust me. So if I was if I did mess up, or if I said I did something wrong or I was uncomfortable, they never made me feel comfortable. So now here comes, I'm married, and now it's like, okay. And my wife never made me feel, when I can't, she never made me feel bad, but I can go outside and deal with it personally.
Yeah.
This time I couldn't. So that was the first time in front of her, I literally was like, oh, this is the worst feeling, because I was ready to fall out.
Yeah.
So my like Alphonso he's in this era, he sees it as different. For me is the past relationships. If I had a mother, because growing up, my mom, we didn't have the exchange, so I didn't know what mother love is. So when I was sick, I mean, it wasn't like you get that nurturing. So when I finally got it, like from Teresa yesterday, it was weird, but I felt good. Prior to that, I didn't really get it. Like, first of all, it didn't last that long to even get to that level. And again, so if we're talking about how we see things, it's the fact that being with someone, you got to realize, what are your triggers and what relationship did you have before? So if they was unhealthy, you're not going to say this one's going to be any different.
Yeah.
Somebody got to break the cycle. Who's going to break the cycle? So this moment in my life, something broke the cycle. So
and if I can say, because I want to respond to some of this. First of all, Don Tavia, you are not going to sit here on my podcast and praise Breena. Okay?
Yeah, Don Tavia.
This is my show, okay?
Yes, girl.
This is my shop, okay?
Okay, Robinson asked a good question, Al.
No, if I can say too, this is what I tell my patients. And I see you over there, Ms. Robinson. I teach my patients, ask, what can I do? Or is there something that I can do? Or what do you need from me? Because here's the thing, and this is how I said to you the other day, Bree, with you and I. If you say or do something that I say, okay, this could rub me the wrong way, I always, number one, look at the place that it's coming from. And I have never thought it's come from a bad place. So when something happens with me and you show up, I know it's coming from a good place. Right. So my thing is, you always ask, what is it what can I do? And sometimes, believe it or not, silence is the best thing that you can say. Right. See, if you and I are doing our thing and something happens, just being able to lay next to you, not saying anything, it's okay. I think I had a patient some years ago. She had been raped by somebody who was special to her. She would come to my office, and the sessions are 50 minutes long. She would come to my office and she would sit in the chair across the room and put her head down, and she would cry. Sometimes she'd cry hard. Sometimes she'd wipe her tears. Sometimes she'd sit up. But at maybe 48 minutes into the session, she'll reach over, get her tissue, and she'll start wiping her face, and she'll leave and she'll say, Mr. Lewis, I appreciate today's session. And I said, oh, okay. In anything. Now I have not said a thing other than provide a safe space for her. Yeah. And see, here's the thing, what we do in a desire to be helpful, we don't always know what to do or what to say. And that's why I say sometimes don't say anything. Or if you're going to say something, ask, is there something that I can
Right.
do?
Right. Right.
Is that making
Good point.
sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
perfect.
That's very specific. You've given us something specific to walk away with and actionable. So thank you for that.
I'm sorry, say
Absolutely.
it again, because I had an issue with my speaker. What did you say?
I said that is very specific and actionable. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, I want to make sure I emphasize, you all, I believe, think that men are we have all these levels. And I keep saying we're just not that deep.
I used to, but not anymore.
So what you mean? What you mean by that? Wait,
I don't think I
hold
like
up.
the way she said that, James.
Hold
And
up. What you
nobody
mean
better
by that?
not
Hold
laugh
up.
at
What you
that.
mean?
I think that was a shot, James.
She thought I thought it was.
Look, she just did the Holy Ghost church dance on me, James.
Hey, Bree, you slick, Bree. You slick, Bree. That was slick. You slick.
James, I used
that
to
one right
think,
on in there.
That was a good one there.
I used to think men were really complex. You all had a lot of layers like women. And Al, it's actually you that would say our waters don't run that deep. It's
They
not
just
that
don't.
serious for us. So yeah,
They
I'm
don't.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they just don't. Now, I ain't proud of it. But like I say, and all my patients know this about me, they'll say, Alphonso, you just talk about real stuff. You are so transparent. I mean, that's the only way I know how to be. And I say at the end of the day, I am just as much a man as everybody else. And there are some things I'm going to respond in that man way. I'm not going to say that anything has ever happened in our life in that regard, our secret life. But I certainly believe that if someday it ever did happen,
I don't know what we're talking about now.
that you're going to be kind and sweet and gentle. But that's who you are. I had a case where a man and his fiance came in for therapy, and I asked my patients, how does he make you a better woman? How does she make you a better man? And James Bree, he told a story. He said, me and her were making love one day, and I failed. I had premature ejaculation. And he said that she told him, baby, that's okay. We got the rest of our lives to get this
I
right.
love that.
And he said, Alphonso, I knew I had to marry her. I said, well, why? Why was that so specific? His last girlfriend, the same thing happened. And she told him when it happened, she berated him. Is that all you have? You got me hot and bothered, and you're the 32nd man or whatever else. He said he was never able to perform with her ever again because her words were always there. And that's why I say when you argue, never hit somebody in a place of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because they may never come back from that.
Yeah.
And you can say, I didn't mean it. I was just angry. I can forgive you for what you said, but the words hit not just my psyche, they hit the core of who I am as a man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Right.
There are typically two things that we as women have to be sensitive with. One is the sexual performance. And then two is the size. When you're younger, you might hear women, especially young teenage girls, attack a young man for his size or the lack of his size, and then his sexual performance, the fact that he may not be able to complete the process or satisfy her, whatever the case. But that's something that we as women learn as we mature.
Yeah. That. Oh, Michael said, oh, that cut deep. Yeah. Now, Miss Robinson, I hear you. Most women try to be the fixer, so it can be hard. Yeah. That's why I said earlier, it comes from a good place.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I was see, Bree. I was going there. I was going there. I said, no, I'm gonna leave that one alone. See, in psychology, that's what we call a double entendre.
Mm-hmm.
It can have a benign meaning, or she could be taking a shot at you, okay? But when you hit a man in those places of masculinity, it's hard to come back from. And I've been doing this so long. One lady had her picture of her ex from way back then, his penis. And apparently he was just well endowed. And one day her husband found it on her phone.
Oh, damn.
And I said, there is no coming back from this, because the husband wasn't as endowed. Now she explained, look, James had to take a drink off of that one.
Man.
I said, ma'am, I don't get, and she's a wonderful woman. God knows she's a wonderful woman. I said, even though it was a mistake, it hit him in an area. It hit him in an area that there may be no coming back from this. And the marriage ended. And she said, Alphonso, why can't he just move beyond that? It was a mistake. It wasn't just that you had the picture. It's the fact that you still had it and you're married, you built a home together, kids. It's the fact that it's the size that it is. And it's the fact that now you have hit him at the core of what makes him feel masculine. Remember, he'd rather be good sexually than to be rich or have a home. I said, ma'am, honestly, you hit him at the core of masculinity. And my professional prognostication is that this is not going to work. He'll never feel like your excuse is valid. Yeah, 80% of sex is between the ears. I hear you, Kevin. He'll never feel that way. Now, if she would have told him that, hey, yeah, I've been with men who's bigger than you, but what you have is good. If she would have said that, no, I'm not saying she should have. I'm saying that she would have said it.
No, never say that. Never, ever, 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 lady, say that.
The fact that she had the picture.
Yeah.
The fact, and so he's not going to get that out of his head. He's not going to get that out of his head. And I had to say, I'm sorry, this is done. Of course, we're going to continue to try. I'm not giving up. But I said, ma'am, you hit a man at the core of not what makes him feel male, but what makes him feel masculine.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm taking notes.
Look, Bree taking notes over there.
I'm taking notes.
So it's that thing. And once again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that you have to try to understand that for a man, there is no higher accomplishment for us than to feel like we're good in that area. There is none. So for a woman, you all, I'm going to say, are more pragmatic about it. But for a guy, it's very different. So when we say what it is that bothers us, we need for you all to listen and accept it and not tell us it shouldn't be that way. At 59 years old, it's indoctrination for 6 decades. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what you say. You're fighting against everything that we learned, and we don't just walk away from that.
Yeah. I think the scary part when even having these conversations, that we didn't have these conversations. The fact that, if somebody say, what is a man? And I can give a definition, but if you don't know how to be one, you're still not going to be successful. Because what you think it is, somebody on opposite end may say it's totally something different. Yeah. And I would use an example because when I first got married, my wife said, you're not good as a family man. And she would say that. And I finally had to stop her. I'm like, look, you realize I ain't grew up in a family. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to be good in the family. But the problem with that was because when being a good man, or when you on a certain level, women sometimes don't see that you have faults.
Yeah.
And so when it happens, it's so much more like you're doing something wrong. And sometimes no one really asks the question, do you know how?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I've never, like in my sessions, I ask women, did you ever ask him, does he know how to be a good father?
Yeah.
Like, who was his mentor? And this is what I say now. If you don't have a mentor, somebody that's trying to hold you accountable, it's hard on both ends to be successful. So if you even talking about emotions down to sex, how you gonna make it if you ain't got nobody? Who you gonna talk to about it?
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing
Absolutely.
I learned about that. It was just the fact that we as men and women, we just don't talk.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fact that we have this idea of what it's supposed to look like, and yet we still get mad at each other. I think I'm a good man, but I know I'm not good in every area. And so,
Yeah.
and when you don't have an opportunity to say that I'm not good in this area and I need help, and you don't get the help, that's when the shutdown starts.
Yeah.
I've never met a man who didn't want to be open with his mate. I've never met one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
never
But it
met
has to be
one.
a safe space for us.
Right, right,
It has to be a safe space because I'm already judging myself if I feel like I haven't met up to those
right. Yeah,
standards. So if I come to you
yeah.
in a moment of vulnerability, you have to make sure that space is safe. Lady told her husband, I don't respect you as a man or as a father. She actually said to him, I don't respect. I know, James. I get all these cases, right? I'm gonna start sending them over your way, James. Okay.
Man, whew,
She
they be
That's
actually
cutting
told
hard,
him,
boy.
yeah,
I
that's
don't res- yeah, I don't respect you as a husband or as a father, as a man. And I said, but ma'am, no matter what you do after that, which leads into the second thing, what we need for you all to understand is that respect of the non-physical things, respect is just again at the core of what we need you all to understand. When she told him, I don't respect you as a father, as a husband, I said he may be able to get over that, but it's going to take him a very long time. Not just because somebody said it, but because it came from you. Because in a relationship, I'm trying to be the best man, husband, lover possible for an audience of one, Bree. It's just
Right,
you. I can give a rat's ass what anybody else thinks.
right,
My
yeah,
audience is one, that's you.
right,
So when it comes to you, and believe me, I've had these cases where a woman has said that, and a guy has gone out to sleep with other women or to be with other women, and they'll say, am I a good man or whatever else? And they say, oh yeah, you were good or whatever else. But that audience of one, he'll still go home and feel like he was shamed.
yeah.
And here's the thing, Bree, I want you and every woman to understand. And James, please feel free to chime in on it. It is so hard to get over that. Once you've impacted us in that way, we just don't feel the same. Now,
you mean the disrespect
the
piece.
disrespect. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's a medical condition called psychogenic erectile dysfunction. And that's the case where a man can't get hard, not because of diabetes or anything else. It is because, in spite of what women have been told, and I've heard it said that women need a reason to have sex, a man just needs a place. Somebody done lied to y'all saying that it's always a brain penis connection. It's not. Because when you've hit that man in that way, he can't perform sexually because you have disrespected him and potentially eroded one of the cores of what makes him feel masculine.
Wow.
Yeah. I had this quote years ago, and I always said, women are always in control. And they were like, what you mean? I said, the party don't start till when we get on the dance floor. If the only thing that men have control of, if they're gonna play the game or not. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't play the game. And if they don't have control of the game, then they don't pl Because no matter what, y'all can. The house is not, unless a woman can make that house beautiful or she can make it ugly. The way she talks to her man, he'll move mountains if he understands that this woman really cares about him. Like there's nothing that I don't care what anybody ever tells me. If a woman, especially if they've been taught how to be a woman towards her man, there's certain things she's not going to say or do. The ones that they do the opposite, you can tell that no one ever taught them, because we as men are going to mess up,
Yeah.
especially we're in an area that we're not good in.
Yeah.
But if my efforts is only produced and then you're chastising me like I'm a child, and I think men get upset because they, especially I hang around a lot of married men, and some of the responses is this: we'll do all this work, and
Yeah.
we get chastised like we're a child,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes the children get more respect than the man, and this
Yeah.
not even. And I'm saying these are married men. I'm not talking about just guys in general. I'm talking about married men that work and take care of their family.
Absolutely.
The power of a woman is not really, forget about how she is, but her words can cut, and she ain't even slap you.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
don't
what
think
Alexis just said, James. Forgive me for
yeah,
cutting you off. Alexis just said, we as women, we have power. Yeah, you do.
it's almost astonishing, because when I laugh, because if my wife says baby throughout the day, I'm fine. Like, all right, I'm good. As soon as she say James, I know I did something wrong.
Is it in her
That's
tone and how she says your name?
she don't call me James unless I do something wrong.
Ah, okay.
Bree, I said
Remember
that to
that
you the other
again.
day. You called me, said Alphonso. I said, oh Lord. I said,
When
you
that
said what? I said, you
man,
called me by my whole name.
By your government name.
and so that's, I mean, and I would say that's how powerful it is. So it's like just something that's saying, baby, I mean, we good. I ain't did nothing wrong. But as soon as my name James hit, I know. And it's
Yeah.
correct, because again, I'm like, I know I did something wrong. I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to. I'm ready to walk outside. I'm ready to, like, no, I don't want to deal with this, because I know I
Yeah.
did something wrong. And I go
Yeah.
back to say, y'all always in control. The
Yeah.
only thing that we don't have control over if we're gonna play the game or not.
And see, that's how men feel, honey. And I want you to respond to that. He's not the only man saying that. I'm not the only one saying that. Women get ladies' night. You get in free, that old saying, happy wife, happy life. It's like, no, it's happy spouse, happy house. We ain't there now. But there is a level of control that you all have. And I'm saying this with all sincerity in the world. I never want you to feel sorry for me. I want you to understand me. I don't mean that to Bree. I mean as a man. I don't want you to feel sorry more so than I want you to understand. We were raised, men don't cry, so we can't cry. A man does this, a man does that. By the time we get to a point where we're on our own, we have been indoctrinated with all these erroneous things. And one of them, and I'm not proud of it, I'm very open about my past. One of them was never respect a woman as an equal. She is a sex object. She is there to make you feel good, to do this, that, or the other. So when somebody on my YouTube channel, when I did a video about that, how men and women, we are equal. We have the same value. And this guy just said, no, they don't. They're not equal to us. They're lesser. And all I could think of, this brother has gotten his education from the street, because he really believes that.
Yeah.
And what we want you to understand when we talk about feeling respected, it's not that we are trying. It's not that we are trying not to be emotionally connecting or whatever else, but it ain't safe for us. It's just not safe. And that's why I say, instead of trying to say what you should do, is, baby, what do you need from me? Just tell me what you need. But if you come in and you try to fix it or whatever else, you may pour gasoline on the fire.
Okay.
And look, I'm gonna say this, and I've been wanting to say this for a long time. I was telling Alphonso in the session, I said, raggedy dudes has a lot of benefits. They always have a place to stay, they get a meal, and they always have a woman around.
That's true, James. You are absolutely right.
And when he kind of said, "What'd you say?" And I've said this before, because if you define, like when you're saying define what is a good man, and the stuff that we have to do to be a good man, I'm like, people are less patient with me. But when I was the raggedy man, I had more opportunities. There was more understanding. Like, and I'm sitting there across the board, because when I made that, when I'm starting, because I'm listening to all these relationships, and I'm listening to podcasts. But one thing I don't understand, like a raggedy dude, he don't follow no rules, but yet he always got somebody around.
Yeah.
And then the idea of why men may turn to the raggedy man, because if it was more of a gap between raggedy dudes and good dudes, everybody be a good dude.
Yeah.
The benefits, and I say this a lot, because I guess if it's scary to say that if you want us to be a certain way, it has to be something different by being over here. If I'm looking at the benefit of being a raggedy dude, and no disrespect to the raggedy dude, but we want the same thing. Like we have to work hard.
Yeah.
They really don't. And and again, this going back until I was in high school, college, grown adult, and a 55-year-old man. I'm sitting there like, why do they have patience for them?
Yeah.
And then the men that I'm speaking of, I can always say men that work hard, they put their family first, and sometimes they get less than.
Yeah.
So if you're not even checking in with your husband, is he okay? Or your boyfriend, are you okay?
Ooh, man.
If you don't recognize that, sometimes he might not even feel valued. He might not say nothing, but sometimes if he just working and doing and working and doing and taking care of the family, if you don't check in with him, don't think he's not thinking that I'm only as good by what I do and not who I am.
Ooh, James.
And that is so scary.
That part right there, bro.
So if you go back to the beginning, what do women need to know? There has to be the difference of a good man, because he's gonna mess up, but you can't put him in the category of a raggedy man when he mess up.
Oh man, man,
you can't do it. No matter how we break it down, no matter what you say, I understand both sides. Sometimes I was the raggedy dude, and it benefited me. It really did.
Oh my goodness. The
raggedy
like the better, right?
Because again, you know what I mean? Because when I said in the beginning, they ate, they had sex, and they had women. They always had a place to stay.
Oh,
and then you go back to why, and then you go to the sex part. Usually raggedy men are good at sexually. Why do you think they got different women? So you break it down, raggedy, right? It's just, and again, I always say it's hard talking about relationships sometimes, but I listen to the men that I speak of. Can you imagine a man that's doing all this work and your mate tells you they don't see no difference?
Ooh.
Wow. Oh my God.
So a man that comes up, because every man knows how to be that other man. It's so easy
man.
To do.
Yes.
It's always right there. I tell anybody, it ain't go nowhere. I can still do that. I just choose not to, because at the end of the day, I've got more respect being the good man than a raggedy man. So I'm not going over
that part right there. I gotta Michael said, James, you are on point. Absolutely. This bro preaching over here, Michael. Kevin said they will not hold the raggedy dude accountable, but they will hold their husbands accountable or shut him up. I've got to be honest when I say this. It was 3 years ago now. Now you got to understand, I've been a therapist in some form for almost 30 years. I train therapists. One day it was after one of those days at work, and James, Bree, because you work with me. There have been times when Bree has heard me in session and I come out and she's got a shot ready for me. I don't mean a bullet. I mean like a shot of tequila. She said, oh my God, is this what it's like every day? Yeah. And she said, babe, how was your day? It had a beginning, a middle, or an end. Just this weekend, she heard me talking to 3 people who are actively going through divorce. And it's terrible. 3 years ago, I'm 60 years old in October. 3 years ago, after I finished my sessions, I sat back in my office, James, and I said, you know what, Alphonso, you're a good guy. You're a good guy. Now, let me tell you why I said it. After seeing all the raggediest mofos come in with the best women that they have SHIT over, and could care less about putting that woman in therapy for the rest of her life, I came one day and I said, then 35 years of marriage, I've never cheated. I've never beat. I don't lie. And I always say, Bree, tell me one time I've ever lied to you. I don't lie. I bring my check home. I take care of home. I treat her like a lady. She doesn't have to take out the trash or open her car door. And I said, Alphonso, you're a good dude. It dawned on me that for so long, I still saw myself as that guy from back when. And I didn't know how important it was for me to hear that. Now, Bree has never said it like that. Bree would come and say, babe, I appreciate how you do this. You take care of this. You do that. She has never one day in this marriage ever made me feel that way. But I asked her one day, I said, babe, she said, Alphonso, I grew up in a way where I didn't get all the compliments or whatever else. And she had used to being with a certain type of dude. And she said, you always seem like you're so in charge. Mm-hmm. You're Reverend Lewis, you're Pastor Lewis, you're this guy who goes across the country. You got patients in other countries, you do this. I say, yeah, but you know what, Bree? I would rather not hear anything from any of them, just to hear my wife say, I appreciate you. And she does. Yeah. Her appreciation means more to me. And I got letters in my office where people say, Mr. Lewis, you saved my life or whatsoever else. I'm grateful for that. But my wife saying, I appreciate you, I love you, I respect you, I value you, I need to hear that. I'm not trying to be the big baller at my house. I'm trying to be in a loving, committed relationship where we pour into each other. So the fact that at one point I had 27 letters behind my name, that didn't mean anything. It's the audience of one. It's the audience of one. And that's what we need for you all to understand, that we are performing for an audience of one. And just you saying, Alphonso, you're a good man. You're a good man. I appreciate that. I never heard that from anybody else. And I craved it, James. Right. I had 27 letters behind my name. 27. And a lady asked me one day, Alphonso, what do all those letters mean? And I'm reading them all off. I forgot what they meant. I said, you know what? I think it meant I overcompensated. It meant I overcompensated. But I didn't realize how much that means to me, how much that meant to me. And I will never say anything negative about my ex-wife. We got married young. We didn't even know who we were. But when I'm finished my session and Breena comes in with the food that she know I loves, she times it so that it's piping hot as soon as I'm finished my last session. James, there have been times when I'm doing sessions and she stays off camera. She has put hot water and Epsom salt or whatever in a basin, and she's taking my socks off and she's picking up my feet and putting them in the water.
Damn, Bree.
James, I had to learn these things, though. I did not grow up learning, knowing how to do these things. My mom. I did see my mom do some of this in terms of taking care of my father. He always got the big piece of chicken. You know, she made his plate, and she cooked a home cooked meal every night for dad. So I did see that growing up. I did not see a lot of verbal affirmations in my home growing up, not between my parents affirming each other and nor affirming us as children. You know, if we got a good grade on our report card, you would hear, okay, you know, great. Oh, good. I'm proud of you. You got an A. But often it was about producing. And you said that earlier, James. Often we give affirmations based on what is being produced, you know, what someone is doing for us or what we can see them doing. Right. And so, you know, we have to learn how to affirm people just for being who they are, not because of what they've done for us or what they're doing, but just because they exist in our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Right. And Kevin said an attentive woman will have her man help her man make a pyramid out of mud and straw. I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And here is my thing. I'm going to do all that I can. I don't want to be that raggedy dude, because here's the truth, Bree. Here's the truth, James. I still know what that guy thinks, how he feels. I can go back there in a Holy Ghost heartbeat. It ain't hard. Right. It is not. That knowledge stays with you. It's when you have a woman that you feel like is listening, who's validating, who's nurturing. I told that woman you had a picture of another man's penis in your phone that was bigger than his. No offense. You can create the cure to every disease on earth, and he still will never look at you the same. And here's the thing, and I want y'all to understand this. Yes, Gail, that's a fabulous woman. I want y'all to understand this. I'm not proud to say, but once again, you all know I'm transparent. A man presents as being very strong because we were taught that. But our egos are so very fragile. They are so very fragile. That's why a man's number one fear is giving his heart to a woman who doesn't appreciate it and who breaks it.
I got one better for you.
Go ahead, buddy.
Man, and I ain't mean to cut you off, but it hit me so hard. My mentor, before he passed away, he was an older guy. He was like 60-some years old. And he finally got married. And before he got married, he went to Georgia. And when he came back, he was so happy. He said, I think I found the one. He said, but I got one problem. I'm scared. I said, what? She treated me so good, I'm afraid of her taking it back.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm gonna say this again. Sometimes a woman can be so good, the fear kicks in, because one day that's a lot of control to have over somebody like that, and then you take it away. And he's like, that was my mentor. Like, he was a father. Like, this dude taught me so much, is how to be a man, not just being but how to be one. But that was the first time I seen him uncomfortable, because he had someone that treat him so well. Now, he is in 60, so he had to wait all those years to get a woman that treat him so good, but he was scared. Because she give him all that love, and then what happens if she takes it away? And I remember telling my wife that. I'm like, I never even been on that level, because I was telling her, I said, hey, this is how afraid I was asking for what I really want. And I said, Teresa, can you do me a favor? Can you make me breakfast twice a week and beer in the refrigerator? That's all I asked. And everybody said that was it. I was like, I ain't know what to ask. Because I never asked a female for anything before. I never asked her to do anything for me. So she really was the first female that I ever really asked to do something for me. And it was just, and it still was uncomfortable, because I'm like, damn. I said, and because if she didn't do it, I wouldn't be as heartbroken.
Yeah.
But if she did, I would appreciate it. But it was like, imagine she did all that in the beginning, and then one day she got the power to take it away.
Really?
Yeah.
So you all think about us taking it away? Like, if you put your heart out there, you put yourself out there, there's the fear of us taking it away?
You seen
Absolutely.
how many times you seen somebody fall in love like that, and then one day they say, I don't think this gonna work no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
That is,
real rhyme or reason. It's just I'm not feeling this. Just to say that alone, what do you
yeah.
think that does to any man where he thought he solidified his place in the relationship?
Ooh, man,
He
man.
did he
Listen,
did what he's supposed to do.
that
And
is
you're
so
saying, I
on
don't like,
point.
and again, I'm not saying, but how many times have you heard that in a circle that I don't, you, and that was, and again, what did he do? Nothing, but he had to do something, because if you're thinking like he put everything in there, that meant you missed, like, how can you recover from that? So why, if you think a man don't want to do it, it's not something that's really on our radar, like, I want to be that much in love. No, it's just, if that's the one, that's the one. But don't think they don't get fearful. Because then if like if
Absolutely.
I do something you don't like, you might take it.
Yeah, I
And then what
couldn't
you
say
think,
that
how you think we go
any
crazy?
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so true. In my other capacity as a first responder with the police department, I went on several cases where there was a murder-suicide. It was always the man murdering the woman, then committing suicide. Last year on Facebook, this guy, 2 times last year in 2024, this guy streamed on Facebook. He walked up to this man with the phone and said, "Hey, you're live on Facebook." And I think the guy, he was an older man, maybe he was in his 70s. And he said, "Hey," he asked the man, "Do you know Breena Lewis?" And he said, "Oh, no, I don't know Breena." He said, "Oh, well, she's the one responsible for you losing your life." And he shot the man in the face live.
Wow.
Then shortly after that, there was the man who live on Facebook, he had already murdered his girlfriend. And then he went Facebook Live over to his ex-wife's house. And she saw him with the phone. Then she saw the gun. And she started running. He said, "Oh, no, don't run, because this is your last day on earth." And he filmed, of course, at that point, Facebook had taken it down. But he murdered both of them. Then he committed suicide. When I tell people stories like that, they say, "But Alphonso, why it's so many other women? Why not get another woman?" There may be a lot of other women, but there's only one ego,
Yeah.
and it's fragile. And when you break it, somebody's got to get capped. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying when you look at domestic violence where there's murder, suicide, over 90%, if my statistics are correct, over 90% is where the man has killed her, then himself.
Yeah.
And guys, and I'm not proud of this, but when I was a young, like my father-in-law liked to say, young Thundercat, I gave a girl my heart. It messed me up so bad, y'all. As my deceased mom would say, I swear for God, that girl, when we went out one day, we're in a committed relationship. She came and told me, "Alphonso, I met this other dude. I like him. I think I want to be in a relationship with him. So you and I are over." Now we're at her place and we getting hot and heavy. And she said, "But I'm conflicted because I still want to do the do with you." And I mean, I'm a young Thundercat. Well, let's do the do. Well, no, I can't, because I want to be faithful to him. Well, have you slept with him yet? No. I said, so let me get this straight. You got me hot and bothered. I'm at your place. You're now telling your boyfriend that you are going to be committed to another man that you haven't even slept with yet.
Kevin said, "What color was her casket?"
That
was a bold sister right there.
That when I say, James and Bree, everybody listen, when I say it messed me up, it put me on a course of I don't give a FUCK.
Was that your first heartbreak?
It was my first heart, and it wasn't just it was the heartbreak. It was how she did it. How you gonna tell a man when he hot and bothered, I want to be faithful to this other guy, and he was a Q. And all the brothers that I know who are Greek, they say, well, Alphonso, I understand. You got this, you do that. Man, you should be Omega, you should be this. I said, I ain't messing with no Greek because that mofo took my girl from me. Okay. I still got receipts from that one. Okay?
15 years ago.
What did I say? At the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, I'm still a man first. But I believe subconsciously, that's why I never pledged. But I do know consciously that shut off my heart. I said, I will never care again. And I'm not going to say it here. My patients know what my things that I've done, I'm not proud of with women, but I didn't care, Bree. I didn't. I said, watch Omega Man. I didn't care. And here's the thing. I couldn't care anymore, and I didn't want to care anymore. And what I said was that all the things that the men told me was right. I gave this woman my heart, and look what she did. So other women are going to have to pay the price for this. It wasn't until I accepted Jesus Christ that I understood I was a one-man wrecking ball. I was a terror. Yeah. But in my heart, I felt like, well, they all deserved it because of what, and I won't say her name, because of what she did to me.
Yeah. And we don't know how to grieve after relationships.
His thing. Go ahead, James.
We don't know how to grieve after relationships.
I'm sorry, just a second. Hold that. I can't hear. I'm having the issue. Okay, go ahead. Please repeat it, James.
Yeah, I said we don't know how to grieve after relationships. So if it's not like a point that we sit there, like when people pass away, you spend time and reminisce. If you're grieving, all that is pain. Yeah. So and then all of a sudden now you're trying to get yourself together to do this again. How do you do that if no one taught you how to grieve in the first place? Yeah. To say that, hey man, you're young and that, it's not your fault. No one says that. Either they're gonna call them names or you just try to go somewhere else and try it again. But now there's a piece of you that's still not, you ain't gonna go but so far. Yeah. That's when you see the disconnect happen, because again, if we're not talking about how did that person hurt you? Because they'll say, what happened? We don't want to talk about it. Sometimes we really need to talk about it. So someone can understand, I'm not just here just to be here with you. I like you, I love you, I want to be a part of you. Yeah. But if you still haven't grieved, that woman's gonna remind you if she does anything. Oh, here go to no one. So we back out. Yeah, we don't grieve. Most of us just don't. Men don't really grieve. We just kind of move on, and then here come the triggers. Yeah, and so if a woman triggers us, guess what? We done. It's that's it. Wow. And we really are one-hit wonders. You don't get a second chance to do it again. That's why I say to those women, no, this is done. Man. The number one, and I want everybody, write this in your ledger, get it tattooed on your eyelids. The number one thing that man needs to feel from you, he needs for you to respect him, but he needs to feel from you that he can trust you. Because the world ain't safe to be trusting for a man in a heterosexual relationship. That man can look at you and want nothing more but to pour his heart out. But if you've ever taken what he said and taken it somewhere else, he'll feel like, I love you, I'm in love with you, but I can't trust you. Yeah. And that's why I say Dr. Chapman's book, the love languages for a man. Okay, that's all cutesy, but a man's number one love language is trust. Yeah. Because the damage done to us as a result of you violate. There's somebody, Bishop Paul Smith. Hey, my friend, number one is trust. Yeah. It is trust. I can look at you, Breena, and God knows as I'm sitting here now, you are by far the most beautiful thing God has ever created in this world. Tell me I ain't good. Tell me I ain't good. No, don't Bronx. With that being the case, if you've ever violated my trust, the love will still be there and everything else. But at 60 years old, what you would have done would have reinforced what the OGs told me back then. That's why you don't give a woman your heart as a man, because then you'll start trusting her.
And all it takes is one good woman to bring a man down. Look at Cleopatra. Look at this. Yeah, got it. So when I preach and teach about trust, it is all right, Bishop. When I talk about trust, when I look at that woman, when a man looks at that woman, sometimes he wants nothing more than to put his head on Big Mama's chest and just cry. But he'll remember, oh, that's right, I can't trust her. But he'll go with his boys or go at a bar and chop it up with a stranger and talk like somebody put a cord in him and press play.
Yeah.
We need for you all to understand the food is good, the loving is good, and everything else. But from back in the day, I just need to know, can I trust you?
Yeah. And if you chime in with that one, you'll know if a man loves you really or not. If your woman can talk to you any kind of way and you still stay with her, he loves you. Sometimes women can be rude. I tell her, you rude is all outdoors. But I tell her I love her for who she is. Like if a man can, it's only one woman gonna be able to do all that. Ain't gonna be a bunch of women gonna talk to you any kind of way, thinking like, oh no.
Yeah.
She's the only one. And I'm still there. If a man doesn't go nowhere because you act out of order at the time. If you don't have my words, not just say I'm still here and I still love you after you said or did certain things, just let him know that he really loves you.
Yeah.
You can't. Some people can't say, like, if I talk to you a certain way, I can't say that Alphonso and think we're not gonna be fighting. I ain't gonna let no other woman just say anything to me and think I ain't gonna chime back. She's the only one that can say certain things. She's the only one.
And that's to a certain
if y'all
point.
Want to know if a man loves you or not?
Yeah.
Just say how many times you said something wrong out your side of your mouth and he's still there.
And he's still there. I can't. And Kevin just said that. Yep, he chooses to stay with that fire mouth, but only for a moment. And I always tell women, when you got that firebrand style of communication, eventually it's not going to work. Because as my patients know, y'all know I kick it 100. There is nothing special about your brand of vagina that a man is going to trade an orgasm for his respect. Right. It doesn't happen. Yeah. It doesn't happen. Yeah. And you can say, oh, I didn't mean anything or whatever else. No. But when you hear this, and that's why I wanted to do this tonight, when you hear, James and I are not just talking about James and I. Read the comments. It's not just me and James. It's that respect. It's that trust. It's how you approach me. Yeah. I've got to be a man and I've got to feel like you respect me that way. But if you don't, there is no other level of connection that's going to keep my heart intermingled with yours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. It's I don't know, man. I just think we fight so hard, and I just think that if we just talk, ask your man, some of the things he wasn't good at growing up. Some of the, like everybody else, men don't communicate. We do. I've been around a group of men and we talk for hours. Yeah. So that's not a true statement.
Yeah.
It depends.
James, I think you frozen.
Looks like we may have lost James. So when his camera comes back up, we're going to definitely have him come back in. But I can't say it enough. Those things that are at the core of a man, that need for validation, that need to feel respected, that fear of giving our hearts to somebody who will then step on it. It makes it hard for us to feel like, okay, I can engage with this woman, but once she breaks my heart, once she has violated that, and I don't relish in telling people that. I don't. But when you tell that man, I don't respect you, when that man sees a picture of another man's penis, it's nothing that you can say. And all these things, and here's what I believe in, and I want to hear your thoughts, Bree. I have never thought one day since we've been together that you've ever tried to disrespect me. Not one time. Not one time. Because here's my truth. As much as I love you, as much as I adore you, there's nowhere in the world I would stay in a relationship if I didn't feel like you respected me and valued me. And I'm so thankful that we haven't gotten it. I don't think that we ever will get there. But once a woman does that, he'll pay the bills. She'll never have his heart. Yep, that's true, Kevin. He'll continue to do those things, but that heart connection is gone. And that's why when I have patients, like I started off with the lady who said, well, why can't he just use the bag or whatever else? We are not that complicated. But once we tell you, just freaking listen and accept it as gospel. Our egos are fragile.
Yeah. We as women definitely need to do that, accept it, because sometimes we will read more into it than what it is. And we sometimes think that men think like we do. You know, I think there was a book that was written umpteen years ago. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And we really do see things differently.
Yeah. And you know what? Good. I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe.
I was going to say, I know I have been guilty of that too, thinking that you as a man will think like I do in certain ways, and it's just not there.
And you know what, James? She'll ask me a question like, babe, do you like this or you like that? Oh, I like that. Why do you like it? I don't know. I just like it. Well, no, Alphonso, there has to be a reason why you like it. There's not a reason. No, because if you think about it, this shoe has that. And I say, Bree, you know what? I honestly think you should have married a homosexual who likes to have sex every now and then, because my waters don't run that deep. Y'all know I kick it a buck.
I have learned I cannot take him shopping. I have to go shopping with my girlfriends, because if I try on something, hey, babe, how does this look? Oh, it's okay. But no, I'm looking for more feedback. Does this fit me? Does the color work with me? I need some more feedback. We went furniture shopping last weekend, and we were looking for bedroom sets and a new living room set. And I'm asking, babe, what do you think about this color? I think this would fit, in the living room. This sofa is too deep. We can't go with this. What do you think? He was like, it's all the same.
Whatever you think. Whatever you think. I don't, man, it's a setup to me. I'm like, I think it's beautiful. You look good in that.
Alexis, I'm telling Jock, Alexis. I'm telling her. But here's the thing. I want to make sure. Let me say this. I didn't make that statement as an anti-LGBTQ. That's not what I was doing. I was saying that as a psychotically straight guy, I don't understand how a woman thinks that way. Homosexuals are around a lot of women, so they can get you. I don't think that way. So when I say that, I say, babe, I'm just not that guy. And I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I have to try to become somebody I'm not for you to look at that as saying, okay, well, he cares about me. I just don't know how to relate that way. And James, I ain't lying. As my deceased mama said, I swear for God, I was sitting at my desk earlier, and she came in and she was just doing her shimmy, and she had a box that had like 8 pair of glasses in it. And I said, oh, SHIT, I know where this is going. Well, babe, what do you think about these? I like those. Well, babe, what do you think about these? Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. What's you already know who
it can't be that difficult to just have an opinion.
It is difficult. No, listen to me. It is. It's not, again, it's the setup. If I say this is what I like, you're not going to pick it. You're not gonna pick it.
Well, it's not
how many
about.
times I've been set up like that. What you think, baby? What you think? This one? Hey, babe, once you wear this, no, it's the setup. Oh
my God, we're just looking for you.
I ain't saying that for everybody. I just know the one I'm with. I'm like,
Look, it is not. When I say. And you can ask
Kevin, that is not it. Don't say, what do you think? You see, Kevin.
That's it, Kevin. When I say you can ask my ex-wife, they're just, I was never around that. I was never taught to be sensitive in that regard, that when you go shopping with a woman, that just being there it's like an experience for them. So what I learned, James, what I learned, everybody, that my AirPods are my best friends. I can go with Breena now and shop for 2 hours, and I'll sit in the car or I'll sit at the door. I don't say anything. I got my music. I got my playlist from gospel to old school hip hop. I'm there. That for me is the compromise. It's when she starts asking me, well, what do you think about this? Well, this black is not really a black. And then she does this thing where she'll call these colors. Oh, well, this is more of a mauve. It's not really white. It's acorn. What the hell is acorn? It's all brown.
That went in the crayon box for sure.
I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home.
That's hard. That's the setup. I'm telling you, it's the setup.
All right, fellas.
I'm just saying there are some
That's
things.
a good one,
I'm just saying that there are some things that we really want you all to understand. It's not that we're not trying to. It's not that we're trying to be difficult or anything else. But I'm saying, look, you say you're praying for me, Bishop Smith. I appreciate that. When we come into a relationship with you all, especially at a certain age, you all have had the benefit of society telling you that it's okay to do certain things. We're not told that. You don't show sensitivity. You don't show vulnerability. You don't do this. You don't do that. And I'm going to say it again for the fourth or fifth time, we are going to present as if we are in charge. That's how we were indoctrinated. But our egos, it's fragile, it's sensitive. And what we want is to feel like I can be vulnerable with you, that is not going to be used against me, and that you understand that this is what makes me feel masculine. You may not understand it, but at least respect the fact that this is where I am.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but it's just where I am.
Yeah. And the last part I'll say, I think, if a person is doing something that you don't like over and over again, especially a man, find out why he's doing it. The thing is, we don't find out why they do the things. Like, no one really understands that we doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about it. It's bad, and then there's no conversation behind it. And like I say, if you understand, if we're going to mess up, well, let us tell us why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
If we don't talk. So it's like, this idea that, we just don't talk. Like, there's things about who we are we'd have never discussed other than with our friends, male friends, not with women. So you're it.
What were you going to say, Bree?
I was going to say, so if a woman does create a safe space for a man to open up, and she does ask, what do you need? But the man still won't open up and still won't be vulnerable and really say what's on his heart and what's on his mind. That can be very frustrating for a woman. I mean, especially after she's tried over and over again, because we know something is wrong. We can see it. We know it. And we're trying to be there for you, trying to communicate. But some men just won't open up. So
sometimes we have to write it. You got to learn. Some people can't talk. Some people need to write it or draw it. Like, the thing is that we don't talk. Everybody can't talk. Everybody don't have the understanding how to use their emotions and use it so you can understand. So you have, maybe he's good at writing. Maybe he can do a video by himself and then give it to you. Like, we have to be more open how we talk, because talking doesn't mean just having this verbal. It's writing down, drawing pictures, poems, songs. And if you say, babe, listen to this. This is how I'm really feeling about you.
Yeah.
We don't open it up for other ways to communicate. So again, he don't talk. He ain't good at it.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Alternative ways to communicate.
You got to.
Everybody
can't do this.
Absolutely. Mary, can you please put my book up? I think it's time to clean the gutters. What to other part to that, Bree, is you as a woman, if we've been in that position before and another woman has hurt us, we can look at you and want to, but we remember what happened before. And what did I say before? Men are one-hit wonders. In that regard, you may pay the price for what somebody else did. when I wrote that book 3 years ago, I think it's time to clean the gutters, an effective guide to communication. What I talk about is there are times in communication where one talks and the other just listens.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and Bree, you know, because I've been this way. The number one complaint that I have from women about their man and communication is, Mr. Lewis, he just shuts down. And I try to say, when a man is silent, it's not that he doesn't have anything to say. He doesn't feel safe that he can say it at that moment or in that relationship dynamic. And they say, well, oh my God. And when I do seminars on this, oh my God, Mr. Lewis, I know he can talk, but he shuts down. Because once a man has determined that I can't feel safe in this space, his option is to either blow up or to shut down. And the average man, when he feels like his woman is not listening to him, it's not relating to him in that way, he'll shut down and not say anything. And everything else in that relationship, the interaction, will be perfunctory. We're going to do everything else. But in terms of conversation, Al or James, can you just tell me, baby, what's on your mind? No, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Blow up or shut down.
Yep.
And that's why in the book, when I talk about that, it's important to respect the space. Make sure that the timing is correct. Make sure that the atmosphere is correct, because every man has a sweet spot where if you can pay close attention to him, you can hit that sweet spot where he'll open up and he'll talk. But it can't be on your terms. And you've got to remember that what you said to him 15 years ago, he still remembers.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. So I hope we're at the end. I hope that you all have gotten something from this. You got two men here, 55 and 59 years old. We're telling you what it's like, what we want you to know about us. And like they say on the street, it ain't personal, it's just business. Okay. But these are the things that we really want for you all to understand. It is so many things that go into the making of that man before he ever gets into a relationship. And by the time he gets to you, if his heart has been broken or whatever else, you got to deal with all of that.
Ooh, a lot of good information tonight. Good stuff. Oh my gosh. I learned so much more about men tonight.
Look, James, I'm still thinking about that shot she took at me a while ago. Like, it wasn't until I got with Al that I realized, y'all are not that deep. What the hell did I do? How did I correct all this?
You said that. You were the one that said that.
Yes, I was.
Literally repeated your own words to
you. Hey guys, I have appreciated to Bree, to James. I appreciate you all being real, being vulnerable. My prayer is that something tonight was said that will help you to have a better relationship. As I said, in the last 3 days, 3 couples are talking about ending. And in the last month, 4. These aren't people who just got together. These are marriages of 30 plus years that are now ending. And usually at the core, at some point, they stop communicating. I tell my wife on a regular basis, we have to agree to talk, but we may never talk to agree. It's more important to have a space where you have the environment where communication is normalized. But when I tell you as a man what I need, listen to what I'm saying and don't tell me what I should or shouldn't feel. It's enough just to get a man to be that transparent and vulnerable where we feel safe that we can tell you what's on our hearts and minds. I appreciate all the feedback. Mary, if you could there it is. It's up there. My latest book, my newest book, guys, it hit Amazon as a bestseller. The Devil Has a Big ... Ladies, I want you to understand that there are patterns in everything that you do. This book is intended to help you not to be a victim to that next devil. If you listen and you observe, a man will always tell you what's on his mind. And you cannot make a man better by thinking that he could be better than what he is, as opposed to accepting him where he is here and now. You can save yourself a lot of money and a lot of co-pays by listening, observing, and make sure you don't give that man what he has not earned. My next book will be out next year, and it's called Her Vagina Is Not Your Therapy. That book is written for men. That book is okay. That book is written for men who are like James and I were. We use vagina to take care of everything. When that man is not transparent, when he's not understanding of what he needs to do to fix it, he will use vagina for all his needs. And that book, fellas, it's written for you to understand when you use a woman as your Prozac, as your Tylenol, when you take what she has and then you leave her, you are creating cycles of disadvantagement, because when you hurt her or break her, it's not just hurting or breaking her as a woman, you've damaged her ability to feel like there's anything good about her. So y'all look out for it. Mary, can you put Bree's book back up there? Once again, her book is fire. I have read it several times. I've learned things about her that I didn't know about. And when I say this is a page turner, I read it and I couldn't wait until I got to the next page. 2 cups of coffee. I said, this is my wife, and I didn't know this about her. You guys make sure you pre-order your copies of that book. I guarantee that you will love it. If you don't love that book, I will personally guarantee that I will refund myself 25 cents of everything you paid for it. That's gold, baby.
I was wondering where he was going with this, James. That's a lot of quarters, baby.
Hey, my appreciation to everybody who joined. Alexis, I'm gonna call Jock and tell him that. JW,
hey, Joy, say Alexis.
You know how we feel about Joey, Kevin, everybody. I can't remember everybody's name that I saw. Thank you for being part of tonight's podcast. We won't be here on next Monday, but the following Monday, there'll be another episode of the Coach's Couch. Y'all stay tuned and make sure you come back and hang out with us. Bree, James, I'm going to give you guys the last words.
Go for it, James.
Oh, I'm just grateful to get to this point, that people are listening. Always my theme is, women feel us, fellas listen to us, and that's it. This is a platform that's needed. And it should be open. Like I said, I love relationships, man. It ain't nothing like a good relationship. I hate saying divorce rate goes up. That's not good for us. It's not good for our children. Yeah. It ain't good for our psyche either. So I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, fellas. You have really shared a lot tonight. Thank you both for being very open, very vulnerable, for teaching us women things that we desperately need to know and that we can share with our children and reach one, teach one. We have got to, like you said, James, break cycles to teach each other how to treat each other in relationships, men and women, so that we can really understand what's going on with each other. Like, I don't know how a man thinks, I have to hear it from mature men like you all who are willing to open up and be vulnerable and share and let us know. So this was great. I learned a lot. I'm sure all the other ladies listening did as well. And I can't wait for us to do it again.
Yeah, and for y'all, we are going to have a podcast. Yeah, where the ladies are going to be the ones who are going to be talking, and the fellas are going to sit back and listen. Yeah, so we're going to have our Coronas and Blue Moon and everything else so we can get through it. But we're going to sit back and listen.
Ladies, call your friends, okay?
Okay. Lord.
We need the viewership triple, quadruple what it is tonight. Get your girls on the line. Come on.
Hey, James, get your passport ready. I think you and I may need to take a trip out of the country, okay?
You ain't lying. You ain't gonna be tracking me down.
All right,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Be blessed. Love you
Good
from
night.
my heart
Thank
to
you.
yours. Always love you. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right.